Today I'm going to show you how to take any audio or video content you've got and turn it into written content. Now, why would you want to do that? The whole point of doing audio is so people can listen to it. But what about if you want to use it on your website? You put the podcast episode there, and then you put a summary or a transcript or some activities or something to go with that. And that forms part of your promotional side. You can tell people, by the way, go to the website and you'll find some things to do, or here's the top 10 things from this podcast episode. And the same applies to videos. You can put them on YouTube and then take that video and embed it onto your website. So how can we make this job easier with Genspark? Let's have a look. Okay, first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take an episode of a podcast that I uploaded to Genspark, and we're going to see what it does with that. So I'm going to ask it to transcribe it, and then we'll get it to do some other things. I'm just going to paste it in there and send it on its way. So it's going to go away to YouTube. It's going to choose which agents and tools it needs to use to get that information. If it has any trouble, then it will tell me and I can work from that. Now, generally speaking, it has no problems with anything that's on YouTube. So you'll probably find this is a great tool. Now, while it's doing this, I thought I'd show you something. I have just released a new book and it is completely free. It will help you get clarity in your marketing. If you want great success online, you need to understand how to say things the way that people understand them. So if you're putting marketing out there, you're getting attention, but you're not getting leads, this book is for you. It's really short. There's only about 44 pages of text in here, but it is the really important stuff. If you want it, please, you can download it free right now. Just go to the description below and I'll include the link there for you and you can grab it, no cost. But yeah, this will change your life if you're in business and you're trying to promote yourself online and you're just not getting enough leads. Okay, so if you look at the tool, it's gone to understand video and now it's on audio transcribe. So it's well underway on doing what I've asked it to do. If I click view, by the way, I can actually see what it's doing. It didn't work the first time. So now it's trying a different approach by extracting the audio first, then transcribing it. So it's going to bring it into the AI drive, it's going to download it, and let's see how that goes. So this is the great thing about using Genspark. It's because it's an agent, because it can think for itself. Normally, if you did this on ChatGPT, it would just say, I can't do anything. This keeps thinking. And it doesn't mean it won't fail, but it does mean that it will continue doing things on its own without you having to be involved in that. Okay, so I clicked on the view and this is what we see. You can see it's now completed that job. Here's all the stamped sections where it's transcribed, which is awesome. So I can keep that or I can go back to this side. Now, if I scroll up, you'll see here, Profitable Speaking Podcast, published by me, the host, and it was on January 14th, 2026, and here's my transcription, main content, 5 unignorable facts, and there's my full transcription. Now, one of the great things about Genspark is it actually gives you suggestions of what you could do with this, and sometimes that's really helpful. You're always thinking of ideas, but it's great to have a helper there to kind of say, hey, why don't we try this? So create a one-page infographic, create a checklist of action steps, search for examples. Okay, so just think of this. I'm putting this on my page. There's two things I want. I want a summary and I do want a checklist of things to do. And so let's start with a summary. Okay, so create a 500-word summary that I can put on my audio, with the audio on my website to create an interesting post. So let's let it go there. So here we go, compelling 500-word summary. And you can see, are you exhausted from posting, boosting, chasing leads and following up? So here's my great little summary. So that would make a perfect article. Now I can make it longer, of course. I don't have to make it 500 words. I can make it 1,000 words. But again, this is to go with the actual audio. Now, remember up here, we had some suggestions. They go when we don't click them or use them, but they do come back up. So here's some social media posts, an infographic. So let's look at that. and get it to do an infographic to go with this, because that would look really nice on a web page. Again, remember, we're building content here for our pages, for our readers and listeners. They might come to the site through Google, they might come through an AI search, or they may just come there because they're fans and they're looking for the next episode. They're able to read the summary, they're able to listen to the audio, and then they can get some ideas from the other content that are on there. So in this case, we're doing our audio file into an infographic. Okay, so here we go. Stop selling, start educating, 5 facts that transform. Let's have a look at that. And spending 6 times more than necessary, you're losing 168 billion in plain sight because of follow-up, etc. So this is a pretty nice graphic. Considering I don't have to do any work for it, I really like this one. So this is definitely going to go on my page. So let's put that there. Create a checklist of things to do if someone wants to start this process. So we'll see what it comes up with, and it'll be based on obviously the 5 sections of the podcast, and then it'll come up with its checklist. So it looks like it's going to create an image in this case. Now, notice I didn't say what to produce. I did say, give me a checklist. Now, it could have done a checklist text. It could have given me an image. There's all a slide. I don't know what it's going to come up with. So this is a great idea because I wouldn't have done an image myself. And in fact, I may send it back to do a text version of this. But let's see what we get. You'll notice it's using Nano Banana. So the great thing about Genspark is that it can actually choose which model it wants to do. Now, this is great, but from my perspective, I think if I'm doing a checklist, it's probably better to have it as a text. Please do as text-based so I can paste on page. There we go. So I'm just going to get it to do text-based rather than do an image. But the option was there, and quite frankly, if it had come out well, I probably would have used it. But I think 1 image is enough for a page. You don't need too many images. So let's have a look here. Let's go foundation, days 1 to 7. Audit your current content, list your top 10 most asked client questions, identify unique. This is great. Again, they've even got the little boxes here, which of course, once you put them on the web, you'll need to redo because it won't transfer properly. One little tip, by the way, if you want to keep the formatting when you're using Genspark, come down the bottom here to the bottom, and see this little copy button. If you click and copy that and then put it on the page, it will look like you've copied it. If you copy and just paste it, it will give it a grey background. It'll do all sorts of weird things. Now, I realize you probably don't want all this information that's down the bottom, but you can always delete that manually once it's pasted on the page. Same with the line breaks, these sort of line breaks. I'm not real keen on them. I could sit here and tell it to take them out, but it's quicker for me just to go click delete when I put it on a page. So what have we created here today? We've taken a podcast audio episode that has been got from YouTube in this case, because the audio episode's been uploaded to there. And we have transcribed it. We have got a summary for our website. So we've got a transcript we can add with times. That can be uploaded to the podcast host, of course. We've got a summary we can put on our page. We have an infographic, which describes all the information that's in there. And we have a checklist. So from my perspective, that is more than enough for most people. If we were to say, hope you enjoyed this podcast, please go to my website to grab a checklist or to grab the infographic. It's a great way to drive traffic back to the website. And I didn't need to write any of it. Obviously, once it's on my website, once I've copied and pasted, I'm going to read it and maybe make some minor edit because that's what I do. I always check the work that I put on my website where possible and make sure that it is right and that it is readable for the people who come to my website. Remember, if it prints at a too high a level and you find that the words it's using aren't suitable, set a readability level. So readability 6, so readability level 6 is the level that most people finishing high school can easily read at. In fact, it's really around a 12 to 14-year-old, but many people don't progress past that ability level in their reading skills. So readability level 6 or 7 should be perfect for 95% of audiences. And that might come as a surprise to you, and it may sound quite shocking, but if you look into how TV is written, you'll find that that is absolutely true, that it's written and targeted at that age group, which is why you may find it annoying sometimes. Anyway, that brings me to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed using Genspark in this way. And please, if you do want to use Genspark and you haven't used it, please click my link below. It's free to download. You get 1,000 credits or whatever straight up to be able to play with it and try it. And then if you're like me, because it can access so many different models at once, I've continued to use it as a paid user. So that'll be in the description, along with the link to my new book. Grab a copy of that, please. It's completely free. I think you'll enjoy it. And if you're marketing online, if you're promoting your business online, that will be a great book to help you do even better. I'll catch you in the next video.